Hi, I'm Mayor Gracey Van Der Mark, and welcome back to the Mayor's Roundtable. Here with us today is Marine Safety Battalion Chief Trevor McDonald, who's going to tell us a little bit about what our Marine Safety does, how he went about doing this, so that our community is more informed and understand all the hard work that they put into keeping our community safe. Trevor, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Mayor. My name is Trevor McDonald, Marine Safety Battalion Chief here, and a little bit about myself is I'm a father, I'm a husband, I've got 3 kids, and so that keeps me busy at home and then at work here for the Fire Department Marine Safety Division. I'm going on my 19th year here working with the city. I was hired as a junior in high school, and I made my way, I promoted through the seasonal ranks and then worked on my education during the off season because it was a seasonal job for me at that time. And so once as a full-time, at that time it was a Marine Safety Officer, and then since the titles have changed. So once moving into the full-time ranks, I was able to continue my training and become a rescue boat captain and be a part of the dive team and the swiftwater team, and even do training with HB1 as coastal rescue swimming. And really what we're doing there at the full-time ranks is assisting with this large amount of staff that runs 4 different divisions at Marine Safety. And so we've got 200 plus staff. I mean, give or take, I think we're looking at 220 to 230 seasonal staff members
Including
this
the
year.
lifeguards?
This is all the lifeguards. So this is going to be all Marine Safety. We have 230 seasonal staff members that are going to work in 4 different divisions for Marine Safety this year. And so that's a little bit about me and moving into my career here. But I think one of the things that is just outstanding about this team that's been built here in Huntington Beach is so many people are so passionate about what they do in Huntington Beach as part of the fire department and the Marine Safety Division and in public safety and in general, is that you have these like-minded people that are working together to just continue to improve the division down there. And so it's a great time to be in public safety. It's a great time to work for the city of Huntington Beach and marine safety in general.
And you guys collaborate really, really well with each other. I've seen some of the operations from the air show, some of the big events, the US Open, and you guys work so seamlessly together. It's amazing. Great leadership, shows great leadership.
Yeah, so this is great. Yeah, absolutely. So working with the city, working with the fire suppression, with the police department, with public works, with everybody to put on these special events that we host down at Huntington Beach. It's a huge push every year on some of these big events, like you said, the air show, the US Open, just anything that we're going to be putting on, the concerts. And we a lot of times we'll set up the EOC, and we'll set up the command post down at the Marine Safety Training Center, which is locally around where those events are taking place. And we're working with our partners to ensure a successful event, right? And so specifically with the air show, there's a ton of back-end work that goes into putting something like that on. And from a marine safety standpoint, we're constantly prepping. And something that some of the viewers may not know is that the marine safety staff, specifically the dive team and the rescue boat operators, they're going to the airports the week and a half before to meet with the pilots and go over extrication techniques if a plane were to go in the water. And we create these crash packets that has every single aircraft team in the air show. And so as the air show is moving on from set to set to set, we have the instructions on how to extricate one of those pilots. And we have a liaison in the airbox that's going to be working with the event coordinators, talking about how many souls are on board of each plane. So if there were to be an accident, they can communicate all the extrication techniques and then how many people we would be looking for if there was an emergency on the water.
And how far in advance, like I said, for the air show, how far in advance would you guys start organizing and preparing for an event as big as that?
Yeah, so we've been, like the city of Huntington Beach, we've been doing the air show for quite a while now, and depending on the different the different things that are planned for that year's air show, we'll definitely be planning months in advance to ensure that this goes smoothly. But we'll bring in, like, if you look at those big white marshmallow buoys, we'll do all the rigging, and we'll put out those different buoys, and we're creating an airbox, and the airbox has different markers with vessels that are placed with these buoys, so that the flight crews have markers on land over the water in that airbox to be able to reference as they're performing their stunts.
And all that is discussed well in advance.
Well in advance, correct.
Well, so we know you guys exist because we see you out there saving lives. But I'm not sure that the community understands how much work and effort goes into your day-to-day operations. So why don't you run us by something that, a typical day for somebody in our marine safety?
Yeah, so if we were to be looking at, say, a Tuesday during the middle of the summer, we're gonna have all of our divisions staffed. We've got 4 different divisions, one on the south side of the pier, one on the north side of the pier. We've got a Sunset Beach division, we have a harbor division, and so we're gonna have, 30 plus towers that are staffed, and then we've got area supervisors that report to the marine safety specialists, and then captains that oversee those divisions. So the marine safety captains oversee each division, and then we also have a junior guard program that's running for 8 weeks during the summer. And so while this operation is running, we have a marine safety captain that's overseeing the junior guard program as well. And then anytime we have, like you said, a special event, the special event runs in parallel with the operation that we're running.
Could you give us some examples of some of the calls for service you receive?
Yeah, that's a great question. So from a marine safety standpoint, we're going to focus on aquatic rescue, we're going to focus on medical aids, and enforcements down at the beach. And those are the 3 categories that we're doing. And a marine safety staff is really focused on preventing issues from happening, and that's why that's our core bit. Is so whenever we can talk to beachgoers and visitors and community members and educate them on the current ocean conditions to help them make educated decisions about whether or not to go in the water or how far out to go and things like that. We have very hazardous beach conditions here in Huntington Beach. We've got an inshore break, we have an outside break, and then we've got this deep channel in the middle, and the majority of our rescues occur in that mid-channel section. And so our guards are constantly contacting beachgoers and educating them about where areas are safe to swim and where there are areas that are not safe to swim. And so we categorize those contacts as preventative actions. And so our guards are constantly making preventative actions, and whenever we can prevent a rescue, that's always the best case scenario. Our beach gets so busy that we can't always prevent rescues. There's so many people, we can't talk to everybody. We get millions of visitors a year, and so rescues do happen, but whenever we can talk to somebody and prevent a rescue, we're always going to try to do that. And so this year we had we've contacted over 76,000 people with preventative actions. The lifeguards have gone out and talked
while they're out on the beach before they go into dangerous situations.
Exactly. So we have people that come in with busloads on maybe spring break or a school outing or an educational tour and things like that, and we can talk and educate people on where to go. Maybe beginner surfers or people going to the ocean for maybe it's
tourists.
Their first time, or maybe they come to the beach all the time, but we have an XXL swell event and we've got 15, 20-foot waves, and we're just reminding people, hey, this is the biggest surf we've had all year. It's the safest option is to wait for this swell to pass and then continue surfing and recreating in this ocean environment once the waves are more manageable.
And they're receptive to your warnings?
Most of the time, yeah, most of the time. And that's the biggest thing is the lifeguards are down there every day. They see the way the rip currents are pulling. They see the way the wave action is. They see where the safe areas are. So anytime our lifeguards can talk to our community members and our visitors, we want to educate them on and ensure that they're going to have a great time at the beach. We want them to have a great time. Come back, enjoy the beach here. It's such a special place. And part of that is being educated about the decisions that they make, right? And so one of the things that we do is we have this safebeachday.com, and it's a public-facing dashboard, and so we can display some of our statistics for
What is
our
public-facing dashboard? What
so
exactly
anyone
is it?
can view it. You can go to
Online?
safebeachday.com.
Got it.
Yep, and you can see Huntington Beach, and you can see the calls for service that we're going on. If there's a number of stingrays happening in a specific tower, it'll be able to show you, oh, Tower 5, there's been multiple people who have been stung by stingrays today. Maybe we should avoid that tower and swim in front of Tower 4 on the other side of the pier, right?
How
And
is that
so-
helpful? Because I didn't even know we can do that.
Yeah.
Or that we even had that option to be informed that way.
Yeah, and so on that platform, you can see the towers will change color based on how many rescues are happening at that tower, or on the perceived risk based on the swell height. So if we're getting 6 to 8 foot waves, it's going to be in that extreme category of very strong current and the expectation is that only experts only are going to be in the water that day.
So if somebody would like to see that dashboard, where would we be able to find something like that?
Yeah, you can go to safebeachday.com, and there's a section right there. It's Huntington Beach. We have a display for our main beach. We have a display for Sunset Beach and in the harbors, and you can get updated information about everything to do with the beach. So anytime that we have a closure for lightning, or if we've got special events going on, or if we have hazardous ocean conditions, we're going to be posting on that site. And
Updated
so we have
continuously.
Updated, yeah. So we have updated messaging that we're putting out, but we also have our STAT program that updates automatically. So if we've got multiple rescues going on in a specific tower, maybe the waves are only 2 to 3 feet in that zone. So it's a moderate risk based on the wave and the swell energy, but we're getting huge rip currents based on the contour of the ocean there. And so that specific area is a high risk area. And so as the rescues start coming in, it's gonna automatically change the color of that tower to a more higher risk color. And so we can see before we even get to the beach where the conditions are, where's going to be the safest place to take the family and to enjoy the beach for that day.
And that's really good to know, considering how many tourists we have and how many visitors, to the number of serious injuries or deaths, they're very low. And it's all thanks to all the hard work you guys do out there. And you just mentioned something I wasn't aware of. I never even thought of it. I'd go to the beach, I'd see the lifeguard, I'd think Baywatch. They just sit there and, enjoy the sun. But you said they have to pay attention to how the waves move, how the current is, in what direction it's going, or the tide. So they're actually doing multiple things up there at the same time. And that's something a lot of us don't even think about. We just go out and we enjoy our day at the beach and don't even realize how attentive they are, all the work you guys put into it.
Yeah, and something that I can say about that is the tower guards are trained to watch these ocean conditions, and they're learning throughout the day. In the morning lineups, we talk about the swell. Is it 2 to 4 feet at 17 seconds out of the south-southwest? Is it a building swell? Is the tide dropping throughout the day? How's that going to affect the wave energy, and how's that going to affect the potential for rip currents in these specific areas? So the guards that are in those towers watching those conditions all day are going to be able to essentially be predicting the future, right? So they can see these sets come in, and they know where those deep spots are in the ocean floor, and they can see this water is going to funnel into those zones, and it's going to pull back out and create rip currents in that area. So if there are beachgoers that are playing in that area and they're waist to chest deep, and they see that, hey, there's going to be water moving in that section of the beach because they've seen it happen over and over throughout the day, they can go out and make those preventative actions before they even happen. And so one of the things that we teach the guards is when you have these hazardous conditions like rip currents or inshore holes, and then you have potential victims, people that may need to get rescued, we want to keep those two portions of the equation apart from each other. We don't want potential victims to be in hazardous conditions because now we're looking at rescues. So when we see that hazardous conditions exist and we have potential victims in this area, we want to go out, educate people about the conditions, and have them move to a safer area to eliminate rescues from happening.
So our city in Huntington Beach is known for being top of the line as far as operations. What sets us apart from other agencies? What is it? The training? What is it that you believe makes us the best of the best out there when it comes to rescuing?
Yeah, it's a great question. So very proud to be to be working for Huntington Beach, because I absolutely believe that. And I think that there's a lot of things that goes into that question, and one of it is the infrastructure that's built down here. So we've got huge real estate on the sand where we can build out special events, right? We host all kinds of special events. We've got parking that we can house all the people to attend the special events. We've got freeways and roads that just dump right off into Huntington Beach, and we've got the hotels to house multi-day events. And it's something unique to Huntington Beach here, and why we can handle all of these events. And so having that combination of that infrastructure here in Huntington Beach really allows us to focus on the training and the preparation for our staff to handle such big crowds and events and things that go on here in Huntington Beach. So some of the things that we do is we train all the time. Our seasonal staff, our full-time staff, we're dedicated to training and improvement. And then we also have the top of the line equipment here. So one of the things that I'd like to highlight is our RDUs. And so our staff that are on the dive team are rapid diver units. If there's a swimmer that's maybe missing or has gone underwater, our staff can have a rapid diver unit. It's basically a modified scuba tank, right? And it's for a short bottom time, and they can have that tank on and ready to deploy.
On them?
Yes, on them.
Okay.
So it's in the truck. They can don the equipment, have it ready to go, and then they can be in the water in less than 2 minutes. So a minute and a half, all the equipment is on, and then boom, we're ready to deploy in the water. And so having these fast response times with some of these equipments. Also, we've had our rescue boat program. We've got 3 29-foot crystal liners that our rescue boats are outstanding, and we're continuing to improve our rescue boat program with additional training, and we're training new captains and the
Constantly.
boat constantly, yeah, because we have these huge events, right? Our boats are a huge asset during these special events and during our regular operation. So if you look at the Huntington Beach, the way that the wave action is with that outside break and that inside break, our rescue boats patrol our surf line and lifeguard the area from that outside break, and the deckhand on the boat, if there's a rescue in that mid-channel, can deploy from the boat and go and help that lifeguard that's just responding from land. So you have multiple guards going from land, and then you have guards coming from the boat, and then we also have lifeguards every single day of the year from sun up to sundown in Tower Zero up on the pier. And the guards train up there as well. They can deploy from the pier, jump off the pier, and effect
So are
rescues.
they there? That Lifeguard Zero, the one that's right on the pier, is that manned the whole time that the pier is open, or?
Correct. So from sun up to sundown, 365 days a year, we have a guard in that tower. And so during the winter months, the guard in that tower is placing the patrol units in specific areas that are going to provide the most service to our community. So if there's a spring break group, this is something that some schools with spring break, there's a big group of people down at Tower 11, 15 area. Tower Zero can reposition the trucks in that area because that's where they're going to provide the most service.
Okay.
Once the beach gets so crowded, the trucks are less effective because they can't reach the water line. Therefore, we have to deploy all of our towers. And our beach gets so busy with so many people, our towers are out, they're going, and now the trucks are backing up the lifeguard rescues. So we use a system called the perimeter defense system, and it's basically this overlapping fields of view, and it's used all over the world as a lifeguard system, and it's a observation system.
Is it something that, is this a skill or a technique you guys developed and that other people from around the world have reached out to use?
Exactly. So the perimeter defense system it originated here in Huntington Beach, and other lifeguard agencies are using it. And then another thing that that we started doing that other agencies are doing is the logging our stats live time and putting it on that public-facing dashboard to communicate better with the community members that are coming down to the beach, and to try to keep everybody informed with what's going down here so they can make educated decisions on how to better enjoy the ocean
beach.
environment and the beach here.
Safely.
Yeah. Safely, exactly. Another thing that we do with Marine Safety and our other public safety partners is we work with HB1 on a regular basis.
Our helicopter.
Our helicopter, yes, our police helicopter. So during extra large swell, when we get really large swell, we'll staff a rescue swimmer with HB1. And we started that program in the early 80s in that partnership with the Huntington Beach Police Department. And we're constantly talking about ways to improve on that as well. And so one of the things that we can talk about is a rescue that we had, I think it was just a couple years ago, and there was an overturned boat and there was a 911 call, and Huntington Beach received it. We put a marine safety captain in the helicopter, and they drove 8 miles offshore and deployed the marine safety captain into the water, and he effected two rescues from the helicopter. And he effected 2 rescues. We're able to get these victims on the boat and then back to shore. And it's a pretty incredible story, and a great partnership. We are constantly asking and using that resource. And one of the things with anything from shark sightings to oil sheen reports to just any type of observation, it's an outstanding tool to continue to keep our coastline safe, is working with HB1.
The collaboration, the way you guys do it is amazing. You guys work so well. Well, another program that's really popular is our Junior Lifeguards program. Could you tell us a little bit about it and how it benefits us here in Huntington Beach?
Yeah, our Junior Lifeguard program is an outstanding program. The community just really comes together around that program. It's actually something that I got to do when I was younger, and it's a special program.
Through that program, you reach out to the community and reach out to children who may not have the opportunity or the skills to be on the beach safely. I saw you guys out with the Oakview community, and you had several of your junior lifeguards there. They do really well. So here, our police, our fire, marine safety, you guys are like rock stars. Everywhere you guys go, people flock to you guys, and we're so grateful for everything you do. But that junior lifeguard program is truly extraordinary. I know several children, or actually youth, who have been through the program, and just the way it built their character and their strength is amazing.
Totally, yeah, absolutely. So we've got, 1,200 plus kids in the program. We've got 30 to 40 instructors that are all currently lifeguards. So in order to be a junior guard instructor and assist in that program, you have to have worked a certain amount of hours in the operation as a lifeguard. And so they get great education on that ocean environment. A lot of families here in the community say, if you're going to go and be at the ocean by yourself, you need to go through this junior guard program and learn how to be safe at the ocean here in Huntington Beach beforehand. And so the program continues to expand its educational programming. So we have the core flagship program, which is 8 weeks through the summer, and then we've got surf team programming all year round. We're working with the Beach Ranger program as a beach and ocean environment orientation with the underserved community in Oakview, and it's an outstanding tool to spread awareness of the ocean environment in here. And then also we get so many great lifeguards that come through that program. And so I think that it does spark some passion and interest in some of the younger, in the youth, in enjoying the outdoors and enjoying the ocean environment here, and then being able to then work for us, and we get outstanding employees. And speaking of the outstanding employees, is something that we're so passionate about here is the recruitment and the team that we're building. And so I think that's like a long-term recruitment is a part of that strategy is that recruitment. And something that they're doing this year is a New Zealand exchange program with the junior guards. And so we're actually having some of our junior guard team, a selected team, go over to New Zealand and study life-saving in New Zealand. And then the following year, the New Zealand team is going to send some of their lifeguards or junior lifeguards over to Huntington Beach, and they're going to study how we work and how we practice our life-saving techniques.
And then take it back to New Zealand.
Exactly.
So Huntington Beach techniques will be saving people throughout the world. Thank you again, Trevor, for everything you do, not just for us, but for our communities, for residents from around the world. And thank you all for joining us at the Mayor's Roundtable today, and I look forward to joining you at the next one.